mantras of our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says it is better to be more strict about not talking of others and criticizing them with the ordinary mind. It is necessary in order to develop a deeper consciousness and outlook on things that understands in silence the moments of nature in oneself and others and is not moved or disturbed or superficially interested and drawn into an external moment. With always our love and blessings, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo's Savitri, Book 1, Canto 5, The Yoga of the King, the Yoga of the Spirit's freedom and greatness. A universal light was in his eyes. A golden influx flowed through heart and brain. A force came down into his mortal limbs. A current from eternal seas of bliss. He felt the invasion and the nameless joy. Darshan Day Messages, 15th August 1960, Sri Aurobindo's birthday. The Mother of God, written by Sri Aurobindo. A conscious and eternal power is here behind unhappiness and mortal birth, and the error of thought and blundering trudge of time. The Mother of God, his sister and his spouse, daughter of his wisdom, of his strength, the maid. She has leapt from the transcendent's secret breast to build her rainbow worlds of mind and life between the superconscient absolute light and the inconscient's vast unthinking toil in the rolling and routine of matter's sleep and the somnambulist motion of the stars. She forces on the cold, unwilling void her adventure of life, the passionate dreams of her heart. Amid the work of darker powers, she is here to heal the evils and mistakes of space and change the tragedy of the ignorant world into a divine comedy of joy and the laughter and the rapture of God's bliss. The Mother of God is Mother of our souls. We are the partners of His birth in time. Inheritors, we share His eternity. Words of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, taken from the collective works of our Lord Sri Aurobindo, SABCL, book on himself, section 2, Identity of the Consciousness, page 455, subtopic, Identity of Consciousness and Path. These words were given by our Lord on 13th November 1934. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the opposition between the mother's consciousness and my consciousness was an invention of the old days and emerged in a time when the mother was not fully recognized or accepted by some of those who were here at the beginning. Even after they had recognized her, they persisted in this meaningless opposition and did great harm to them and others. The Divine Mother's consciousness and mine are the same, the one divine consciousness in two, because that is necessary for the play. Nothing can be done without her knowledge and force, without her consciousness. If anybody really feels her consciousness, he should know that I am there behind it, and if he feels me, it is the same with hers. If a separation is made, I leave aside the terms which their minds so strongly put upon these things. How can the truth establish itself? From the truth, there is no such separation. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the mother's consciousness is the divine consciousness, and the light that comes from it is the light of the divine truth. The force that she brings down is the force of the divine truth. One who receives and accepts and lives in the mother's light will begin to see the truth on all the planes, the mental, vital, and the physical. He will reject all that is undivine. The undivine is the falsehood, the ignorance, the error of the dark forces. The undivine is that all that is obscure and unwilling to accept the divine truth and its light and force. The undivine, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo, the undivine therefore is all that is unwilling to accept the light and force of the mother. That is why I am always telling you to keep yourself in contact with the Mother and her light and force, because it is only so that you can come out of this confusion and obscurity and receive the truth that comes from above. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, when we speak of the Mother's light or my light in a special sense, we are speaking of a special occult action. We are speaking of certain lights that come from the supermind. In this action, the Mother's is the white light that purifies, illumines, brings down the whole essence and power of the truth and makes the transformation possible. Let me repeat. When we speak of the Mother's light or my light in a special sense, we are speaking of a special occult action. We are speaking of certain lights that come from the supermind. In this action, the Mother's is the white light that purifies, illumines, brings down the whole essence and power of the truth and makes the transformation possible. But in fact, all light that comes from above, from the highest divine truth, is the Mother's. There is no difference between the Mother's path and mine. We have and have always had the same path, the path that leads to the supramental change and the divine realization. Not only at the end, but from the beginning, they have been the same. Lord Sri Aurobindo says, the attempt to set up a division and opposition, putting the Mother on one side and myself on the another and opposite or quite different side, has always been a trick of the forces of the falsehood when they want to prevent a sadhak from reaching the truth. Dismiss all such falsehoods from your mind. Know that the Mother's light and force are the light and force of the truth. Remain always in contact with the Mother's light and force, then only can you grow into the divine truth. Whatever one gets from the Mother comes from myself also. There is no difference. So too, if I give anything, it is by the Mother's force that it goes to the sadhak. You consider that the Mother can be of no help to you. If you cannot profit by her help, you would find still less profit in mine. But in any case, I have no intention of altering the arrangement I have made for all the disciples without exception, that they should receive the light and force from her and not directly from me, and be guided by her in their spiritual progress. I have made the arrangement not for any temporary purpose, but because it is the one way, provided always the disciple is open and receives. That is true and effective, considering what she is and her power. The Mother and myself stand for the same power in two forms. So the perception in the dream was perfectly logical. Ishvara, Shakti, Purusha, Prakriti are only the two sides of the one divine Brahman. It is very common experience, that of identity between myself and the Mother, the perception that we are one, expressing in the fusing of the two images. Next subtopic, mutual help in perfecting the sadhana. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, in yogic or spiritual life, the antecedents of a person are of little relevance. we have to see his or her spiritual attainments. Mother was doing yoga before she knew or met Sri Aurobindo, but their lines of sadhana independently followed the same course. When they met, they helped each other in perfecting the sadhana. What is known as Sri Aurobindo's yoga is the joint creation of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. They are now completely identified. The sadhana in the ashram and all arrangement is done directly by the mother. Sri Aurobindo supports her from behind. All who come here for practicing integral yoga have to surrender themselves to the mother, who helps them always and builds up their spiritual life, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo. Next subtopic, difficulties of the pathfinders. The difficult path. On August 13, 1935, Sri Aurobindo writes, "Nobody has found this yoga at Grand Trunk Road. Neither X nor Y, nor even myself or the mother. All such ideas are a romantic illusion." The burden of humanity. And Lord Sri Aurobindo writes on 7th March 1935, "We have had sufferings and struggles to which yours is a mere child's play. I have not made our cases equal to ours or yours. I have not made cases equal to yours. I have said that the avatar is one who comes to open the way for humanity to a higher consciousness. If nobody can follow the way, then either our conception of the thing, which is also that of the Christ and the Krishna and Buddha also, is all wrong, or the whole life and action of the avatar is quite futile." X seems to say that there is no way and possibility of following, that the struggles and sufferings of the avatar are unreal and all humbug. There is no possibility of struggle for one who represents the divine. Such a conception makes nonsense of the whole idea of avatarhood. There is, then, no reason in it, no necessity in it, no meaning in it. The divine being, all powerful, can lift people up without bothering to come down on earth. It is only if it is a part of the world arrangement that he should take upon himself the burden of humanity and open the way that avatarhood has any meaning. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, "You say that this way is too difficult for you or the likes of you, and it is only avatars like myself or mother can do it. That is a strange misconception, for it is, on the contrary, the easiest and simplest and most direct, and anyone can do it if he makes his mind and vital quiet. Even those who have a tenth of your capacity can do it. It is the other way of tension and strain and hard endeavor that it is difficult, needs a great force of tapasya. As for mother and myself, we had to try always, follow all methods to surmount mountains of difficulties, a far heavier burden to bear than you or anybody else in the ashram or outside, far more difficult conditions, battles to fight, wounds to endure, ways to cleave through impenetrable morass and desert and forests, hostile masses to conquer. Hostile masses to conquer, a work such as, I am certain, none else had to do before us." Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, "For the leader of the way, in a work like ours, has not only to bring down and represent and embody the divine, but to represent too the ascending element in humanity and to bear the burden of humanity to the full and experience, not in a mere play or Leela, but in grim earnest, all the obstruction, difficulty, opposition, baffled and hampered, and only slowly victorious labor which are possible on the path. Our Lord Sri Aurobindo says, but it is not necessary nor tolerable that all that should be repeated over again to the full in the experience of others. It is because we have the complete experience that we can show a straighter and easier road to others, if they will consent to take it. It is because of our experience, won at a tremendous price, that we can urge upon you and others, take the psychic attitude, follow the straight sunlit path, with the divine openly or secretly appearing you, if secretly he will yet show himself in good time. Do not insist on the hard, hampered, roundabout, and difficult journey, says our Lord Sri Aurobindo.